Okay, here we go. We're gonna make a bassoon reed. So we've got a piece of cane that's been soaking. Probably not as long as it should, but you can get away with it if you use warm water. Let's see here. Okay, the first step is to score the cane. We're gonna put in several vertical lines. And I'm trying to put a good amount of pressure to get in there so that these will guide the reed as it's cracking as we stick the mandrel into it. Okay, I've also turned on my glue gun. You don't have to glue the reed if you don't want to. All right. Okay, and then we're gonna bevel. So I'm just gonna take off that inner corner. Hopefully you can see this in the camera. I think you can. Okay. The goal is to get this done in just a few minutes. Okay, and then I'm gonna find the line on the inside or on the outside on the profile. Kind of guides where the reed should be folded, but you could measure the piece of cane. But we'll just fold it in half. And then this is really important, making sure that the two blades are really lined up nicely. So I'm gonna kind of pinch and then check the other side and then check the other side again and try to get that looking as good as possible. You really wanna avoid letting these blades slip too much. It may happen anyway, but if you're careful, it won't happen too much. Then I've got some wire that I've already cut. I don't know what that is, 2.5 inches. You could cut it a little longer. It'd be easier to use, probably if it were a little longer. So I hold that with my thumb. I'm gonna use my thumb and finger to wrap it around. I like to keep the right side on the top as it comes around, and the lower one, or the left side comes around and is on the bottom, and this makes it so you can twist to the right. Some people twist to the right, some people twist to the left. However you orient this, though, is important because it'll look all messed up if I twist the wrong way. Okay, so there we go. That's not amazing, but I will fix it later. Okay, now I like to leave about 1 millimeter of collar. Let's get a little more light over here. There we go, that's better. Okay. All right, good. I'm gonna wrap blue string on this thing. Make a little mummy. Cotton string. Hopefully this video, I can forward this to you and I can forward it to others probably. All right, so ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Wrap that all around. This is like the most incredible invention. I don't know who came up with this, but they're smart. I'm gonna put that back in the water so that sticks. And then I've got a line, and you've got a line on your mandrel. And I'm gonna form right to that line. Now this is important to make sure that we don't twist on, because the blades might twist and become slipped, right? So we're gonna just push to that line. With a thumb and forefinger, it's kind of creak its way onto there, and I think it's in the right place. It can be a little bit difficult to force it far enough. The way we figured out where that line was is we just took a reed that was fitting well on my bocal and then pushed it onto this peg and marked it with a file on the bottom there. Okay, now our next stage is to put the other wires on. So same as before. 1. And obviously the more you do that, the better you get at it. And the more efficient you are, the less you have to kind of pull and tighten. So I'm gonna grab the intersection and I'm gonna pull and twist, pull and twist, pull and twist. When there's no more gap when I pull, we know it's as tight as it can be, or very close to it. And we don't want to break the wire. We want this wire to be 8 millimeters below the first one. So I like to measure the middle of the top to the middle of the bottom, or vice versa. And then I don't worry too much about the bottom wire. The bottom wire, I like roughly 4 millimeters, but I just eyeball it. I want enough room underneath that bottom wire that I can crunch. Third wire, same situation. This is the most important wire because we can't get to it after we glue, right? Or wrap with thread or whatever you decide to do. So pull, twist, pull, twist. I'm pulling pretty forcefully. As long as I haven't over twisted, we can continue to pull. It's when we twist too much that the wire could potentially break. I'm just kind of straightening this out a little bit. Now this is the most important thing, making sure that you crunch a lot. Now this is going to compress the cane. So we're going to need to tighten the wire again, or we're going to have the opportunity to, which is good because it also helps for the reed to be round. But this is going to ensure that the reed is as round as possible and fits on the bocal and seals. And we could ream afterwards, but we're going to pull and twist again, getting this in the right place and then letting the reed dry on the mandrel is key. So I like to keep it on here for at least 24 hours. Of course, you'll keep it on until we meet next, which is going to be good. Okay, got my ruler here. The measure, boom, 8 millimeters. I nailed it. Okay, this is a little bit loose. I don't want to tighten it too much, and I don't want the wires to be too round because that is something I like to do as we finish the reed, but I want them to be somewhat snug. Okay, cool. Okay, and I like to use the glue gun, and we can do that right afterwards. Let's do it. This glue gun's been heating up, and I've cut these glue sticks into thirds. This is a mini glue gun. And we got a nice blue reed here. Whoop. Got a little clog there, that's okay. Oh, we need another glue stick. Oh, let's see here. Stick another blue one in there. Find one, there we go. Okay. All right, and this is looking like a mess, but I'm gonna fix it up and I'll show you how. It's a great trick that I kind of came up with. It's probably something that lots of people have been doing already, but you simply take a lighter and set the thing on fire. Now you just, you apply heat to the outside, which then will kind of even out the surface. It actually makes the glue hotter than it was when it came out of the glue gun, so you have to be careful not to kind of boil the glue. You can see this, the steam coming off of it or whatever. Heat. Okay, that looks pretty good. Bonk. All right, and that's that.